When performing the low bar back squat, there's a few similarities to the high bar back squat, but there's also some key differences. The first, most obvious difference is where the bar actually sits on your back. So the high bar back squat, the bar sits on the top of your trap muscles, but when we do a low bar back squat, it actually sits below the trap muscles, these ones here, and above the posterior delt muscles, or your back of your shoulder muscles. So high bar would sit somewhere up here, and low bar sits in between these two muscular groups here. This creates a good little wedge for you to be able to, by pushing your elbows back in the same way you would with a high bar back squat, it creates this little wedge for it to sit on rather than a shelf for it to sit on. And this allows, if you have a forwards lean slightly in your torso, it stops the bar from moving upwards into your spine, and it actually allows effectively the bottom of your trap here to support the bar from the top whilst your shoulders support it from the bottom. So it provides a little bit more stability, and there's actually more surface area of your back in contact with the bar as well. So there's better left-right stability also. One of the main reasons why people don't like to do this one, especially early on, is just it's a lot more uncomfortable of a position to have the bar on your back in this position. It requires a little bit more mobility as well. So if you struggle to get your elbows back and your hands narrow on the bar with a high bar back squat, then this is also, well, this is going to be harder for you. The low bar back squat position is going to be more difficult for you. But beyond that, there is only one very subtle difference with the entire setup, and that is that your torso is fractionally further forward throughout the entire movement. So the things that are the same, we still set up with this tripod of support inside, outside, and heel of the foot. We still try to evenly distribute the load between our hips and our knees and our ankles, but we just put a fraction more load towards the hip musculature. As a result of that, the torso stays a bit forward the entire time, and you end up using a little bit more glute, so a little bit more of the back end of your leg musculature. You obviously still use your quads because your quads are the main driving thing that straighten up your knees. However, one of the main reasons why this is a more efficient movement from a moving load perspective is that the weight that you are lifting on your back is closer to one of the prime movers. So it's closer to your hips. And as a result of that, this distance between the bar and your hips being shorter makes it fractionally easier to move the weight. All these things combined allow you to lift a little bit more weight. However, it is important just to perform the movement that is most comfortable for you. If you find the high bar back squat position most comfortable, then that is going to be the one that you will progress with best at this point in time. If you then progress to this one because you want to lift more weight, the same rules apply from the previous squat variations, and that is you don't want the added load on the bar to cause any change in your body position or any change in your movement compared to an empty bar squat.